Welcome to Voices of Overwatch.
Wow! What is happening? Hi, everybody. Hello. Oh my God. Can you guys all come on stage so you can see what I'm looking at right now? This is bananas. Oh my goodness. Let me put this down. Hey guys, I'm Andrea Toyas, Senior Casting and Voice Director at Blizzard. I'm very happy to be here today. Thank you. Thank you so much. For those of you who don't know, my job is one that it's a lot of fun. I get to meet with the game teams, meet with the Overwatch team. We talk about what we're going to do for each character. I search the globe, literally, as you guys know, for our characters. Then I get to play with them in the booth and bring them to life. So to be here today with you to talk about this is amazing. So thank you for being here. And I got to tell you one other thing that's crazy is that when I first had the idea to bring voice actors to BlizzCon 8, 6, 7 years ago, it was kind of tough because back then it was pretty much devs and you. It was just us, these two groups. And when I had to put the idea of bringing voice actors out, it was a little tough to convince them. I think people might want to meet voice actors. I mean, that might be a crazy idea. And look at us now. Now we are on the, I can't swear because I'm on TV. We are on the main stage with voice actors. So come on now. This is incredible. So it's thanks to you that we're here. It's thanks to your love and support and your undying love of Overwatch. So to sit out here and see all of you who care enough to be here and queue up and get tickets and sit here with us is a big deal. So before the party gets started, I just want to tell you that I love you madly, deeply, truly. All right? So let's get this party started, shall we? Who do you think's here today? Who do you think's here? Any ideas? Everybody? I love it. Actually, I am missing my clicker, so I don't have a clicker to click. So let's see if you guys can do it manually for me. Let's see who's behind door number 1, shall we? Right?
Always was a good shot, but I got a few pointers from the best.
Oh my goodness, Matt Mercer.
That'd be your mother.
Right? It's like McCree-Con this year, I think. Let's just call it McCree-Con. Oh my God. I know. Oh, we're going to get to that in a little while. Don't you worry. That's it, right? Actually, no. Matt, right here, please. So, who do you think's next? Next? What do you think's next? Let's see.
Brave of you to show your face around here, Jessie.
Look at her. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. Look at this outfit. Do you see her outfit? What is happening? Oh my gosh. You know, we could stop right here and have so much to talk about already. Am I wrong? Like just these two? Oh my goodness. Look how great they look together. They look amazing. Gorgeous.
We coordinated their outfits.
All right, door number 3. What do we got?
Why does everyone keep pestering me about my aardvarks?
Can you see okay? Keys, look how committed he is. Look at this, right here. Look at the, are you there? Oh, we're gonna talk about that soon too, yes. All right, so if we bring Torbjorn, who else do you think we should bring out?
Sorry, I have no tips for bulking up. All this armor is heavy.
Right here, my love. All right, 2 spots left. I wish we could place bets on who you think it is. Oh my God, those are the best faces right there. Amazing. All right, so behind door number 5, we have... Come on out, God. Look at you. Commitment. That is some commitment. Oh, T. Baker, everybody. And John Lipow. Good. Come on down. Oh, my gosh. That was amazing. That was very rock and roll, D. I love it very much. And, of course, none of us would be here without the one, the only, the fabulous Mr. Michael Chu. Come on out, Michael. All right. Oh, my goodness. Every time I do this, I always just kind of have the urge to sit here and just stare at them, right? Can we just sit and stare at them for a little while? Like, to think we've got all these amazing actors here. Let's just have a couple seconds.
Should we stare at each other?
Can we stare at you guys?
Yeah, you stare at you. You guys stare at them. They'll You. It's so great. It's nice for Michael and I because, Michael, we can talk about this. We never see them all together. So to have a cast with us is such a big deal for us. I mean, I feel like I'm nerding out and as excited as all of you. So, Michael, it's really fun, right?
I have the best seat in the house right
I
here.
know. This is our job.
Because we don't record as an ensemble.
Or I know, never. I mean, it's so rare that we do. So I want to start with our cowboys and cowgirls. Shall we start talking to them a little bit? Oh, my gosh. Matt. What's it like? I think all the characters are cool, but to play a cowboy, a gunslinger, and walk around. First, I want to see you walk like a cowboy. Can you just walk like a cowboy?
Oh,
No, please, please. I need to
Let's
see you.
see.
Yeah. I want to see you. Yeah, walking like.
it's about the heavy heel falls.
Right.
You gotta get those ching.
And the buckle and the
ching.
belt buckle.
You gotta lead with your pelvis a little bit, you know?
That's exactly it.
When you're a cowboy, that's the center of the universe.
Yes. Right.
True.
So.
You've already punched me once in this show. You gotta punch me twice.
See, they're already.
That's what I'm here for.
We're gonna talk. I mean, it's all you two are McCree and Ash. That's why this is happening. But anyway, so what's it like been playing McCree? I mean, this is the coolest role.
It's been incredible. Are you kidding me? Like, I mean, this project has been not just an amazing community built around it, but like with each progression of the story, each part of the world's lore that expands upon it. It's a gift to be a part of it, and McCree especially. Just as a person who grew up loving, you know, classic gunslinger tales, and good to see kind of that represented in a semi-futuristic space, and have it still fit without feeling like it's been completely, you know, pushed into it. You don't see a lot of stories that do that well. So and I mean, did you guys get a chance to see the short yesterday?
Some of them might have.
That was surreal. I was over at the Legendary stage watching it happen and just hearing the reactions live, and it was overwhelming.
So much. You guys liked the piece? It was amazing, right? Like, oh.
And this girl showing
I know.
up? Come on.
So much fun.
Well, I keep threatening, I have this idea that at some point I'm going to get big, huge amounts of buses and put everybody in buses and bring them to the studio with us.
Yes.
Could you imagine? We're going to make it happen
Yes.
somehow.
That could be like a whole thing. You'd have a big arena and the piece of glass here, and you just put up us
We
here
should
and
do
make us
that.
do stuff.
Wouldn't it be fun to like do but to do like a recording session here, just people to see what it's like, it'd be great. Yeah.
Careful what you wish for.
But really, I think so much, you know, every time we do an Overwatch panel, Michael, you can speak to this, we find people who are the character. We're going to talk about that today, but I feel that's the key to our characters, is finding that we're not just looking for the voices, we're looking for the people and the human heart behind each character to bring them to life. And so what part of McCree do you feel connected with? Like when you think about him and what you bring to it, what parts of him resonate with you?
I think for me, and as we've explored the character continuously over the past couple years, what I'm really enjoying is the idea that he's uncertain if he's the hero that people want him to be. And as a lot of you saw in the short, very much this idea of, I've done some things in the past I'm not proud of. I'm not sure if I'm the hero people want, and wanting to elevate others. And I think that was a really, really cool aspect of his personality we got to play with in that, and I hope to see more in the future. And I think I definitely resonate with that. You know, I'm happy to do what good I can in the world, but I'd much prefer to lift other people up and, you know, show them what they're capable of doing.
I think that's a really good point, because what's fun about these characters, whether it's in our cinematics or even in game whenever we can, is not just looking at people as good or bad, or, you know, he was an outlaw or a good guy, but we're all kind of somewhere in between. And I think you make a point that McCree does live in that world. It's pretty powerful.
A fun gray area.
Yeah. So what's it like playing McCree versus all those other little projects that you do, like Critical Role? Like, nobody watches that. Nobody watches that. I want you to DM as McCree sometime. We really have to make that happen, Michael, right?
Roll initiative, my lady.
Oh, my God, right?
That'd be fun to do. No, it's another incredible part of my weirdly nerdy life that perpetually gets more and more nerdy, and I love it. So I'm excited. I mean, the fact that I mean, this is crazy. Look at how many people are out here. This is intense. Yeah, all I can say is I'm very thankful. Thankful to be part of this amazing family and this amazing family.
It's amazing.
Thank you.
Entire tribe. That's right. I love it. And one thing I love when McCree came to Overwatch panel, I think a couple of years ago, you were talking about how you researched like the American West and history, and to kind of research the kind of zeitgeist and culture behind him. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, look at it's a very interesting history when it comes to the classic cowboy, because half of it is the historical interpretation, a lot of it is the romanticized kind of fictional literary version of it. And what we know today from the classic spaghetti westerns, which a lot of the stylistic thing is based on, it's a nice mixture of those two. And for me, I just think it's cool to bring a part of the American heritage to light in a way that, you know, initially it would be hard to think of in a futuristic element. It's something that kind of existed once, and in some elements of America, especially rural America, it's still being held on to as this cultural aspect. And it was kind of a cool honor to bring an element of that into this story and hopefully do it justice. So I was pretty excited.
But I love that because we're not just kind of talking about the surface cowboy, cowgirl aspect. We're kind of talking about, you know, early Americana, what that was like, the principles of values, how they carried themselves. I think one thing that's fun about McCree and Ash is kind of gentlemanly. You know, I think McCree's a gentleman for like old school. I think it's kind of fun playing with what old Americana must have been like. So I love that you did that research. So it's fun stuff.
A lot of my family's from the South, and so there's definitely that sense of honor and that sense of... a lot of it's from... Georgia, Alabama, that region, and so I very much grew up with that idea of hospitality, and you know, keeping true to that ideal of familial respect, and so yeah, happy to represent a little bit of that.
My final question is, why don't you talk like McCree all the time? If I were you, why would you not talk like that all the time?
I feel like it would be a misinterpretation of my goofy self.
I love it.
I'm still just a bombastic nerd.
I love it. Well, I want to request right? Aren't we all, though? Aren't we all? I'm going to request that for the rest of the panel, all of you can only talk like your character. That's my new rule. Just kind of not kidding and kind of kidding. So would that be great? That's it, all in character.
Just remember you said that.
I know. Well, since we're here talking cowboy, cowgirl, Jen Hale as Ash. What? I know. I got to tell you, Michael, we can speak to this. When we heard Jen read as Ash, like, obviously we all love Jen Hale. She's done so much work. So she didn't get the role just because she's a great actress in her body of work. And Michael, you probably agree. Jen Hale got this role because she is Ash. I mean, this girl can ride a horse, fight tsunamis off, climb mountains. You're like a survivalist. You are Ash. So talk about your Ash. We're here. We can finally tell the world.
I don't know, this character she's amazing. I mean, she's outside the box. She's got strength and just she's thrown off the shackles of what she was born into to be everything she wants to be, and she does not care what anybody thinks. And I find that inspiring because I think we've all lived in parts of our lives where we were sort of imprisoned by what people think, and to be able to throw that off and do whatever the heck you feel like is incredible. And she's got her own code of honor and her own way of being, and I just think that's amazing. Plus, she's a cowgirl. Hello, winning. Yeah. I love horses. I still have one, and it's so much fun. I would have worn my cowboy hat, but it was the wrong color. Black hat outside, way too hot.
You guys you get to play real like cowboys and cowgirls.
Yeah.
That's everybody's dream. That's so fun.
So fun. With explosives.
With explosives, right?
Yes,
and robots and the whole thing. So what part of Ash do you really resonate with? Like, we had so much fun in the booth, all of us. Like, what part of Jen Hale, you fight tsunamis off and you can kill bears and all that. But I mean, like, what part of Jen Hale, like, when you think about her, that you feel is your same attributes, if that makes sense?
She's on a mission. She's on a mission, and I'm very much on a mission kind of a person. And she hates to be put in a box. I hate to be put in a box. Don't tell me I'm something, because I'll go be something else. And she loves to break rules. Yeah, she's not out to hurt people. She's just out to get it done. And don't get in her way. And I relate to that. She's a woman in fighting her way around a lot of dudes, and that's been my whole life. Yeah. So.
Video game world and life and otherwise. So what'd you base her on? Where's this great voice? Because you just connected. I wish maybe next year, Michael. I want to film them in the booth so you can see them in the zone. I'm sorry, I shouldn't turn my back to you guys. I'm so sorry. But you kind of physically inhabited her. So what did you base her on? The voice, the accent, the personality.
For me, everything comes out of the writing. It's the genius of the people who birthed this, and the writing. I try to just empty myself out and become nothing and let the writing crawl up inside and take over.
Right.
I'm just a husk, and fill it up with details, and I just go on instinct. And I lived in Alabama for 19 years, and I spent half my life in the dirt and around large animals, and running up against people in obstacles and situations. People are like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "A lot. Get out of my way." You know. So it's just I sort of let all that come to the front, and ultimately I listen to you, and I just try to disappear myself as much as possible and just ash away.
Ash away. That's a new verb, to ash away.
Yeah.
I like the idea that Jen Hale's becoming the new Chuck Norris in the community. We can just build up her legend as we go.
Pew pew.
That's it. Oh, fights bears, the whole thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and Baron's
Don't
chat
fight
talking
Bear.
about Jen. I think we've
Don't
done
fight
it.
We all got to tweet
Good.
our ideas of what Jen Hale gets up to.
Oh no! I will live up to none of them.
But you lived in the South too, so that accent. Sometimes we'd be working
I
on
did.
lines, and you'd be like, "No, I think we should say it like this."
You get me a little alcohol or really mad, and you can hear it. I'm like, "What? I'm sorry. What did you say? What did you say?" I don't think so.
So good. So, Michael, where did the idea for Ash come up? Because we had McCree Solid. So, can we talk a little bit about bringing this new cowgirl to life? Because I think she's such an amazing new character.
Yeah, it was really interesting because Ash was a character that we first explored in the reunion piece with McCree. And I've sort of mentioned this, but McCree has the ability to get a rise out of Ash like no other person. And so, we see Ash in a very special mode in the reunion piece, being frustrated by our favorite cowboy. And I think it was interesting then to figure out the character from there because she's not always at that level. She can't just be, screaming and angry all the time. And so generally she's a character who is like more in charge. It was really interesting to dig out that part of her character after seeing her at an extreme.
And I think we all have those people in our lives who can trigger us, right? We can be super cool, calm, and collected, but that one person, especially an ex-lover from our past, all rules are off. So it was fun to explore that in the piece.
It was.
Sorry.
Bob! That was so good. I love it. I love you guys. Let's give it up for Jen Hale and Matt Mercer. I love them so much. I was going to step over here, but I don't want to step on your wonderful cos. So I don't know if you guys realize this. Keith has a full cosplay outfit and walked around the entire con in his entire outfit yesterday. Anybody see that? Yeah, it was amazing. Let's start with that. Tell us about your day yesterday.
This was amazing. Okay, so first off, I've never cosplayed before ever.
So great.
I love cosplay at any con. It's my favorite thing. I've said that many, many times. And I always wanted to do it. So I kind of got this idea in my head about a year ago. I didn't even know if I was going to be at BlizzCon this year, and I called up a friend. I got to give her mad credit. Chiefy Creates made my entire cosplay. She gets huge credit. Somebody named Abra helped with the hammer. And I told her basically, I have either about 9 months for you to make this or a year and 9 months. I have no idea, but let's get started on this. And I wanted to be, my size. I didn't want to try to, I can't make myself short. I didn't want to come out on my knees or something like that, walk around all day. But it was the most amazing experience. I think a few people caught on that it was me, but most people didn't. So I was taking photos with people all day. I've learned how difficult it is to cosplay. Super fun. And Chiefy was my con mom, and she was fixing everything all day that I thought was fine. She's like, hold on, let me get that beard. Hold on, let me fix this. This is getting loose. So it was an amazing experience. And as much as I love cosplay before, I have a newfound love and respect for all that you guys put into that stuff because it's amazing. You guys are unbelievable. These guys, they do it every single con. You guys give yourself a round of applause.
It's amazing. It's amazing. So were you doing the lines in the character? Or people are like, oh, you sound just like him. Or I love it if they said, you don't sound like him at all. Like, what happened when you did lines?
That's what I thought was going to happen for sure. So my plan was to not make it obvious because I knew it could go two ways. Either I make it obvious and we see how that goes, or I just kind of downplay it and get what the normal, what the experience of cosplaying is. And that's what I went for. I did slip a couple of times. There's a few times on camera where I just couldn't resist it. Somebody was filming me and they were like, hey, can you do one of your emotes? And I was like, I don't know what I can. And I was like, I could do the dance, but I'm going to fall over and break everything. So I said, can I just do a line? And he's like, yeah, sure. And I was like, okay, cool. You filming?
Build them up, break them down.
All right.
And the guy didn't expect that, so he had kind of that real quick, like, that was pretty good. I was definitely worried he was going to be like,
That would have been amazing. I've heard you guys tell me if you know the story, some of our cast has gone online and played as our character. Maybe it was Josh Petersdorf as Roadhog, and they're like, dude, you don't sound like him at all. It was so like, I love these stories.
I tried to do, I really want to do that. Matt, you're the one everybody talks about doing that because your ultimate like makes people scatter. It's kind of the
so
way
it's
it
even
works.
funnier if nobody's playing McCree. They get really confused.
What? And Molten Core didn't have the same, like people go, okay, he's Molten Core, but they don't run and hide when they hear Molten Core. The other thing I realized very quickly is that a lot of people either don't have their headsets on or don't have the mic set up. So after a couple of sessions, I realized like I'm wasting my time. They're hearing me, but I'm not hearing them reacting, which is lame. That's like, you know, or they're not hearing me at all. So I was like, either way, yeah. So I've done a couple streaming things where I got to do it, and that was a lot of fun.
I love you for that. So what's it been like playing Torbjorn? Because I think, Michael, you were one of the original characters we brought in pretty early on. Well, actually, let's, Michael, talk about the genesis of Torbjorn, where this idea came from. Then we'll come back to you, Keith.
Well, Torbjorn, I think the genesis is sort of obvious. We were doing a loving homage to Warcraft dwarves, but one of the things that I love about Torbjorn is I think, and he's sort of like secretly one of my favorite characters to write because I think, you know, Torbjorn mains out there. You guys have suffered a lot, so. But I think
you're not
that,
very
like,
good at keeping secrets, by the way.
You know, there's a thing about his character where he sort of comes off as sort of just being a jokey, like inconsequential character, but I actually think he's really interesting, and you know, he's cantankerous, and like people give him a lot of crap, but like, you know what, he's right a lot of the time, and I really like playing into that aspect of his character, being a little bit more of a serious one.
That's great. I love hearing the genesis stories like this. So for you, with all that, what's it been like playing Torbjorn? What's your take on him? Tell me about your world, Keith.
Yeah, I love him. He's very pragmatic, but he's also, you know, very logical with everything. But he's also very passionate, and that comes off as being very hot-headed. And it's written into his abilities. You know, the whole Molten Core, like it's all his lines. I mean, a lot of that's just written in. The writing is amazing on this, and so I find a lot that I have in common with him, because I'm like that. I'm very passionate about, I'm very dogmatic, and if you look at his history, especially in his youth, he was very dogmatic about the whole Omnic situation, and that this is a bad thing, and we need to watch out, and people didn't believe him. The other thing that I really, like, I'm very positive guy, like always glass, half full guy, and he seems to be like that too. I find a lot of that in his dialogue, even in the thick of it, which, by the way, he would always be there for the team. He's that guy. He's the rock. He's sturdy. He's tempered like steel over the years. One of the first members. Very righteous in what he's doing. But cantankerous is right because, yeah, he does. That's that hothead coming out. And I could see him getting very angry, but not maintaining it for too long, which is a lot like me.
Yeah.
Totally. And I don't get angry too often. He's a little grumpier than I am a majority of the time. But that's part of the charm that I find. And I think his intentions are always good. And the other thing I really attach with him is that he's a family man. And I think he's been through so much in his history that at this point, his family, and I should say his friends like Reinhardt, are the most important thing to him. And he fights for them, and he fights for a just cause that he believes in. And at this point, he wouldn't waste his time with his hard work on anything he didn't believe in.
I've known you for many years, and even if you weren't sitting here, I'd say that you have such a huge heart yourself as a human, and I mean that. So I think that huge heart of yours comes through in Torbjorn so beautifully. So I love Torbjorn so much. So thank you for doing all of this. Can we just clap that he cosplayed? Like, what? I mean, yeah.
So much fun.
You all got to up your game next year. I'm just saying. I want everybody cosplaying, especially Wrecking Ball cosplaying. That's what I want. All right. So of course we've got Brigitte. What? So here you are. Your first look. Take a look at everybody. It's amazing. I know. It's been fun when I bring in new heroes because we're recording mid-session and you guys don't know about them yet. And I'm like, your life's about to change as you know it. I remember having this conversation like, girl, do you have Twitter up? Like, are you ready for all this? So what's it been like? Here you are.
I don't know. I have been just overwhelmed with love and just, I've heard so many stories from people who play the game and they appreciate my character, and it's so undescribable. I don't know. I just, honestly, at this point, I haven't come far enough to like actually process any of this.
Hasn't hit you yet, has it?
No. Just getting here and seeing all of BlizzCon, it's amazing. It's huge. It's so cool. It's so cool. And yeah, I haven't processed it at all. But it's fun.
I love it. I don't know how. I mean, I think those of you who follow Matilda know she's one of us. She's a gamer. I mean, talk about when you realized that you were reading for Overwatch, because we don't always tell people what they're coming in for at first. And when it dawned on you that, oh my God, I'm going to be in Overwatch. Talk about that.
I mean, yeah. So you didn't tell me. I knew it was for Blizzard during my second voice test, which was cool enough. And then the third voice test, when I read through the lines and I just realized it was for Overwatch. I had all these thoughts in my head. So one thought was going like, okay, you're going to blue this, so don't even try anywhere. And then one other thought was just like, oh, they're just using lines from Overwatch just to have like example lines. This is not Overwatch. Don't try, Matilda. It's not going to be Overwatch. And then I had this other part of me who was like, this might work. I think I should actually really, really try it. And
Otherwise, you weren't. You're going to be like, I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to read.
You should make that a Brigitte line. I think I should really try.
I should probably try.
Make that happen. It's perfect.
No, but it was so cool to just sit in the studio and freak out, and then I've never felt more professional because I just like put that all aside. I was like, I'm gonna do this. So I had this moment of just like shaking my entire body and just like, okay. And then I just went into it and I gave it 200%. And
it's been amazing. And Michael, I think the minute we heard Matilda talk, we knew. Because again, with all the casting that we do, I think why you love our actors so much is because we find the people who are the character. So the idea for Brigitte, when we heard her, we knew. Because what's your take on Brigitte? What were when you created her, what were you thinking?
Well, I love Brigitte. I'm basically say that every character is secretly my favorite, but because Brigitte is actually one of the first heroes that when I started working on Overwatch that I sort of seeded into the story, because I love this idea with Reinhardt that like Reinhardt, this completely ridiculous guy going on his adventures, and he needed someone to like go with him to kind of keep him safe, and so that's sort of where the idea of Brigitte came out of. And I love this relationship between the two of them and exploring that, and I think it really puts Brigitte in a really interesting place as far as a hero goes. So I love her.
Yeah, and the voice and everything that you brought, even your nervousness, like even you talking now, I'm acting like I'm hosting this, but I'm thinking, oh my God, you are Brigitte, you're talking, everything, all your movements are all her. So what do you feel like, what do you connect with about her? Like when you think about her and what she means to you and where that intersection is, what would you say that is?
I think so her cheeriness is definitely something that I have in me, but it's just not out all the time. It's definitely out now. This is so cool and awesome, but I think she does have like a serious side to her. So I think I don't know, I just relate to her a lot. I just wish I was hardworking and ambitious. So not as lazy as I am, but
hard work pays off.
Yes, it does. But Matilda hasn't gotten that yet. So I think I relate to her a lot, but it's just like she's badass and she does whatever she wants and she goes for it, and I don't do that.
And don't forget about the cats.
The cats! Oh my God! Do you like cats? I know, right? I know. That's literally the best part of it, because seeing all the cat, all the cat. Oh, what are they called? The sprays, thank you. All the cat sprays, and then like whenever I go to a convention, just fans showing me cats, it's amazing. So it's so awesome. People are like, I don't know, maybe you don't want to see, but here's my cat. I was like, I'd love to see. Show me now. Just people tagging me on cat videos on Twitter and Instagram. It's like, is this my life? Like, this is the best thing.
Has anyone ever shown you like a cat in like some sort of like rocket pack contraption or anything like that?
I don't know.
No.
It's
crazy idea.
Not yet.
Crazy idea.
Sounds ridiculous. No one would ever do that.
Throwing it out there.
I love that you say you're not hardworking, you're not driven when you're here on this stage with this crowd playing Brigitte. Like you're not. I would say. What do you think? I think she's pretty driven and accomplished. I love you so much. I love you. And to see Torbjörn and Brigitte is so lovely. Oh my goodness.
Can I attempt to say something to you? I apologize, but this is terrible.
Jag är så stolt över dig, gumman.
What just happened?
What did I say?
So good. I am so proud of you, sweetie, honey.
Oh, look at that. Well done, sir. Well done.
This is the best day of my life.
Everybody here. Oh my God, we love you. All right, oh my God. Then there's Wrecking Ball. I mean, I love that it takes 2 people to do this. Oh my gosh. So Dee's gonna answer all in hamster talk and you're gonna translate. That's our plan, right? We could just have a whole panel about the sounds behind this. I don't even know where to start. So let's talk first
Starts in my upper sinuses. Right. It pretty much stays there.
Oh my gosh. Let's first talk about bringing these sounds to life. Then I want to dive in because what these two do is such a unique skill that I really want to talk about how you found that you've got your inner hamster and inner robot ball. So Dee, so when we have the session with Dee, we have a script that's all the words in English, all written out. We're like, here's your script, but you got to say it all in hamster talk, right? No prep. So how do you even approach that?
Well, I start with a deep dive into the literature about hyper-intelligent rodents. There's a lot of literature out there. There's a lot of really good literature that you can refer to, and maybe a few books on artificial intelligence. And then you just start up in your upper sinuses, and you just kind of explore and find a hamster up there. I also use a lot of sense memory. I was crate trained as a child, and I was able to kind of build my way out from that. And I particularly love Halloween. As my friends know, or if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see, and I really relate to creating and constructing something. So I relate to this creature much more than you might think in just looking at me.
So, but it was interesting, Michael, right? We had to we really had to get a sense of what you were saying. Hello, goodbye, capture the objective. We really had to find a way to understand what you're saying.
Yes,
so,
the key to a nonverbal creature is that you're not making sounds. It's not a sound effects. It's actually an acting mission. And because the sounds are not generic, they're specific with intent, and they're part of a story, and the tone has to match up with what else is happening. It's not just a library sound. And so that's what a voice actor brings, whether they're speaking words or making weird squeaking sounds with their sinuses, is there's a specificity to the intent that matches up with the storytelling.
And we were talking, Michael, we've had conversations before we did this. We thought, in all honesty, do we use a sound effects library for a hamster, or do we use Dee Baker? It's funny that we even had that question, but we did. And we tried, the sound effects library was great, but when Dee brought the heart, because I think you always talk about, even when doing creatures, it's not just sounds. You have to really think, sounds crazy, how's that hamster feeling? What's his inner emotional life? You have to, so that was great. Look at me, I'm looking around like, where'd that come from? Right? But you do. So let's, yes. I have chills from that. I mean, like, it's just...
But right, I mean, that's the key, is there's a specificity to it.
Yes.
It's not a generic character, as none of these characters are. Right. That's why you love them. That's why you love this world. It's not a knockoff. It's not a boilerplate. There's a specific vital life to this world that you want to step into, and these characters that you want to play with and to be with and to meet. And that's what we bring.
And I think very much like the human or robot characters in the universe, why not just use like hamster sounds? Like, it's more than just wanting to hear what a hamster sounds like, because that's not what a hamster sounds like. It's about that, like, the fantasy, like, what do I really want out of this genetically engineered, super intelligent hamster? And I think you really
the hamster's
brought that.
heroic. I mean, everyone feels like they're the underdog that wants to harness their amazing superpowers that we all have into this kind of perfect symbiotic thing, and then be a hero. And that's what this little guy gets to be. I think that's why people respond to it.
I think the hardest thing for us when we were having him do like the sad sounds, like I think we were in tears in session because when Dee does sad hamster sounds, we're all in tears. We had to do fighting sounds and crazy stuff. I'm seeing it, but I don't believe it. Oh my gosh.
It's bracing.
I love it. Well, carrying on from that great demonstration, there's John. I mean, we were kind of trying to figure out what the ball part should sound like, and then you come along with this ridiculous ability to make robot sounds. Like, where did that even come from?
Well, ever since I was a child, I would make a lot of noises imitating lawnmowers and Volkswagen Beetles taking off, and robots were just a natural evolution as they became more and more prevalent. But yeah, it's wonderful. And in this particular instance, I like doing creatures as well. So I'm actually kind of, I don't know, Michael, am I partially sentient? Because I'm not just translating for this creature, but I'm kind of also interpreting in a way.
I usually say it's like Kit from Knight Rider.
Yes. Michael.
So when did you realize that this robot thing that you do was something? Like, 'cause one minute you're doing it as a kid, playing, having fun. When did you go, oh my gosh, I'm like a legit robot?
Hello. It happened rather quickly. I don't understand.
Warning, approaching imminent demise.
You know. And all the electronic sounds and the winding down.
Oh, yeah.
You watch it from this perspective, and I still don't understand. So how did you like approaching this? I think we talked, like, you're right, he's a robot, but there's a translation aspect, so you...
I just basically, I try to imagine, okay, this is now a creature being created by a genius hamster. So right away, we're in the realm of imagination. So there's really no set parameters, just like Dee's hamster isn't based on a sound effects library because he's a genius hamster, and that's an an effects library. So yeah, I just basically created this character thinking that, okay, what would a pissed off hamster with him on a mission sound like as he talks in English? And I just try to kind of interpret what the hamster's viewpoints and motives would be, and then, articulate that electronically.
Electronically.
I love it. I love that you literally had to ask yourself, how do I translate a pissed off hamster in a robot? Like, that was your deep, thinking.
Yeah.
But you have to. I mean, working with creature sounds, you don't just go, okay, I'm being a robot. You have to think about what's actually going on in the machinations.
Yeah, you try to get the context as much as you can. And then another thing about the character, too, is that he's very versatile. And I've always been kind of versatile, and I love the fact that there's so many things you could do with him. I love that, the grappling hook. That's pretty cool, right? Grappling hook fans? Grappling hook? Yeah, all right. But yeah, it's cool. He gets to do a lot of that, so I figured some of that versatility into the performance and try to, emanate that.
You two together make me so happy. We recorded them separately, but when they came together, it was perfect. Yeah. It was perfect.
Yeah, it's a team effort, and it's a weird career. It's a weird project to have. I mean, first of all, especially in a video game, you're recording by yourself. And so you have to have a really specific vision in your mind of what's playing out in the game to make this work in the game. But then you also have to hear the people that you're talking to, because really half of being an actor is listening. And that's part of the challenge of it, is you have to hear what's not being actually said to you usually. And if you hear it, and if you see it, if you see that clearly and hear it clearly, then you can bring it to life. And it sounds real and authentic and natural.
And what we always talk about for successful voice acting, whether you're a robot, a hamster, a cowboy, whatever, is you have to bring your own heart to it, I think. And I repeat this so many times at BlizzCon, and we know firsthand that the more you are able to bring yourself into it and channel your own energies and your own stories, that's when the character comes to life. So we're running short on time, as always. We need like 3-hour Overwatch panels, don't you think? If you guys all request that, I think we can do that. So I want to do two last things. I want to open table it and just to ask, what's your favorite part about being part of the Overwatch family? And then we're going to have you guys read some of the character lines just because we love it. And then we'll try to get a couple Q&A in. So let's start. Anybody want to start? What's the best part about joining the Overwatch tribe?
This community. It's unbelievable. Like, it came yesterday, the word got out. And just the love and the joy, just joy is the #1 vibe around this place. It's just joy. It's awesome.
I agree. Yesterday, the word joyous is what really came to mind. This is all pure joy. It's wonderful.
It's also so much more than just a game, and we were talking about community, which I agree with. But if we gave you guys a microphone and you guys got to stand up and say what you wanted to say and ask questions, a large portion of you would have a very emotional story about what you've attached to from Overwatch, which character you love and why, and how it helped you through whatever. And it's unbelievable to me, the love that when we go to the conventions, for not us specifically, but the entire world, this game, everything about it. So, you know, when we say community, it's everything about you and how much you've embraced the game and all of us. It's amazing, amazing.
I'd say to that point too, what I really appreciate what the team is doing is they're building a game and a story in a world that is centric to the global diversity and continuing to do so. What's already been presented and what's going to be coming out in the future represents not just a sect of American gaming. It's the reason it's become such a worldwide phenomenon is because it represents the world and all the wonderful people in it. And even my little facet of Americana, to me, I'm glad is eclipsed by the idea that so many people from across the world have something in this game that they can connect with and see themselves in, and will continue to do so as the roster continues to grow and more people are represented. And I'm just very proud to be a part of that.
To me, the most optimistic characteristic that we humans have is our ability not to be intelligent or smarter than other animals, but our ability to collaborate in a creative way with each other. And this game and these kinds of games are so unique and so important because it allows us to work together, not in a way that's just a zero-sum where you all die and I win, but that everybody's in, whether it's 10 of us or 200 or millions of us, but that we come together in an inclusive way to have fun. That the other animals in the world don't have is collaborative fun. And that's what you got here. That's what's so wonderful about it.
D. Baker for President 2020. That's what I'm kind of running with right now. So I think we need to make those shirts or badges. Go ahead, Matilda, what were you going to say?
I was just, the cat videos are pretty nice.
I love it. I love it. Who doesn't love cat videos?
Right?
I just want to say I'm new to this convention world. This is my second one. And I got to tell you, you don't really, you do the voice work, you record a character, whether it's an animation or a game, and you don't really get to see what it does for people and how it affects them. And I'm just so honored that people are so in love with these characters, and I get to get their feedback when they come and talk to me, and I'm just proud to be in something like this where it's people can engage and enjoy part of their life in this world, and I'm so happy to be a part of it and meet all of you. So thank you.
We're all very lucky. Every single day, I just realize how lucky we are.
Can I throw out a recommendation? If you're interested in the American West, there's an awesome book called The Frontiersman: A Narrative by a guy named Eckert. And it's a true life story of a guy, sort of like a Little Big Man type story, but it's true, that goes through like the mid-19th century on up through the West and with Native Americans and the rest of the Americans. It's an amazing story if you're interested in the authentic, real Wild West. Check it out.
And so, Michael, I never even asked you this. You being on the front lines of Overwatch, what does it mean to you personally? I mean, obviously we work at Blizzard, but when you think about your journey with it, how does it make you feel?
I mean, it's amazing. There's not too much I can add to what everyone else has already said. It's an amazing experience. It's great to be here with everyone and be able to feel everyone's enthusiasm and talk to everyone who's excited about things. So all of that is amazing and blessed, especially years after the game has come out. And then the one thing that I would add, which is it's not something that you always get to do working on a project, is I get to work with these amazing, talented actors and the ones who aren't here. But oftentimes, we record the game and then it's sort of like, okay, well maybe in the future we'll do another thing. But the fact that we've all been able to inhabit these characters, I've been able to continue to write for them. You all have been able to continue to perform them, and we've all been able to share them has been like a really special thing, and I definitely treasure that.
It's so cool to make an amazing world that is of our own creation and inhabit that. And a great way to do that is to vote.
Well said, well played. Well said. I love that that's amazing. I just want to add from Mike a quick thing. I think the thing that I enjoy most is the casting process, because with Michael and I working together, I really try to I go out there, we literally search the globe now for the characters. We look in LA, New York, and London, and the native country. And I love that Blizzard really believes in diversity and inclusion, and that we are trying to make things as true and honest as we can and find the right people with the right background and the right heritage to bring our characters to life. So I feel very grateful that we spend time and care and love and effort in finding the people that match our character and not try to do something otherwise.
Yeah, it's something that's been extremely important for us, and we don't always have a 100% success rate, but it's important to us to always try to be good as far as representation goes, and I hope that we can serve as an example for others to do the same.
I feel like we get to build the world that we see. It's not just some kind of weird video game world. We're trying to make a world that is actually that we see in our daily lives and make it feel very real. So I love it. So we've got a little bit of time left. Should we have them do their voice lines now? You want to hear what they sound like? That would be fun. All right. So how about we start with Matt? Let's just hear your inner McCree come out. How about that?
Are we just going down the list, or are we
Go
going
down. Just whatever you just. Yeah, it's great.
Let her rip.
Like shooting fish in a barrel.
Oh, God, no, you put this one on the list. I hate you guys so much.
Well, I watched a lot of old spaghetti westerns. I thought my Italian was pretty good. Bona signores, and can I get you something to drink?
Amazing.
You did that to me,
That
Michael.
was the best McCree line in Retribution for sure. Yes.
Hey, it's in theme. I'm the quick, you're the dead. I'm not good, not bad, but I sure as hell ain't ugly.
And the classic.
It's high noon.
Oh my goodness. This doesn't get old. It doesn't get old.
It's too much fun.
All right, cowgirl, bring it home.
All right. My name's Ash. We're playing by my rules now. They say there's no honor among thieves, but that's not how things work around here. If you cross me, or if you break your word, you'll pay the price. You can count on it. Now do what I say, and this will go nice and smooth. And my personal favorite, Bob, do something!
Oh my gosh. You probably can't see it, but when you turn into Ash, you get like a little nose crinkle of attitude. This whole little, it's just magical. I love it.
We talked about naming the alt Do Something.
Right. That'd be amazing.
I watched that last night, and that was my favorite line, too. I loved it. I remember stopping and going, that was awesome.
All right, Keith, what you got?
Torbjorn, ready to work. I have big plans for you. Let's hear those guns. Oh, I worked hard on that. My baby! Hard work pays off.
And an oldie, a classic oldie now, but goodie. Remember this?
Come get your armor.
It'll be with us in spirit.
It's been retired.
I love it.
It's kind of shocking and freakish to see a voice actor do what they do, isn't it? I mean, it's like we don't look like we're doing that, but then we do it. It's very odd.
I really do think it'd be fun to recreate a recording session, like do some acting on stage. Maybe should we do that like a radio play with Overwatch actors?
Yes.
You heard it here.
I think this is why we're not impressive to a little kid, because it always happens like, talk to Timmy, he does the voice, like do the voice, and you do the voice, and the kid looks at you like, you don't look like that thing you're trying to sound like, so I'm not impressed by this at all. It happens all the time.
All right.
Yes, it does.
Did it happen today, Dee?
I don't impress my family every day, actually. That's how it works.
I am
Yes.
unimpressive as well.
Matilda, you ready?
I don't know.
Sorry?
I don't know.
Do it, girl. This is your family here. This is your family.
Oh, they're waving your head. There's someone waving your head right there, I think.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's...
You got this, don't worry.
Let's hear it.
I can start off with, hey, hey. Brigitte at your service. I am Brigitte Lindholm, and I will be your shield. Patching you up. Mace to the face. Precision Swedish engineering. And then, alla till mig.
Oh, we can do this. Next panel, we'll just have them read their lines the whole time. We'll just sit here. I love it. All right, Wrecking Ball. We'll have Hamster first, and then let's...
Oh, are we switching off lines? Oh, I say the line, then you translate it.
Yes.
Correct. Wrecking Ball online. The small mammal is impatient. Don't anger the hamster. Get wrecked.
This is weird. I've never done anything like this.
The hamster sends his regards. Vocabulary not found. Translation impossible.
Oh, it's so good. Let's
was
get a
a
round of
child-friendly
applause.
show.
Let's get a round of applause. I love this. I love this. We'll try to do more next year, more acting, whatever we can do. So we've got a couple minutes left for Q&A. We've got mics queued up. Anybody have any questions? Anything they want to say? Talk about world peace? Anything?
Oh, let me throw out, if you're interested in voice acting, I have a website that is free called iwanttobeavoiceactor.com.
Yes.
Woo!
And if you're interested in acting or voice acting, there's some information there.
What's your Halloween website?
My Halloween website, it's called creepyyard.com. And it's my Halloween yard. It's a hobby.
You gotta see it. It's
I love
fun.
Halloween.
Wait, is this real?
He does with his yard what he does with his voice.
Yeah, that's true.
Make the monster.
Yes. So we probably can't take all of you, but we'll take as many as we can. We'll start right here. And tell us your name and where you're from.
Hi, my name's Tiffany. I'm from Arizona.
Hey, Tiffany.
This is kind of just an open question, and it may be easier for some of you to answer than others. We know that May's sorry line in the game was actually improv. It wasn't a scripted line. Do any of your characters have a line that just kind of ended up in the game even though it wasn't scripted?
I think Birgitte's voice line, it's just a flesh wound. I think actually we were talking about Monty Python, and we were talking about Holy Grail, and then we said it, and it was funny, and then I think JB was like, let's just do one. Come on, just take 3. I was like, oh, okay.
I love it. So many fun examples.
I'm pretty sure my karaoke was improv.
Oh, that's
There's always
true,
a lot of freedom to improv in voice acting. If it adds more fun or more life and it serves the story, why not? Give it a try.
Great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
Over here.
Hi. I'm Kyle from Rancho Cucamonga. And my question is, are you guys currently looking for a Bob voice? Because he's obviously going to be a full-fledged character soon. Or do any of you guys currently have a practicing Bob voice?
Michael, we're looking for a Bob voice.
I don't know. I kind of like him as a quiet butler for now, but we'll see.
I don't need any more talking in my crew.
Yeah. Someone has to. Someone's gonna have to let him talk for once. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, over here.
Hi, my name's Sterling from Portland, Oregon. I actually have a lot of friends who have speech impediments. I work with a little bit of a lisp as well. And it's really nice to see what voice acting can do to help really find a voice that you can connect to. Have you found anything like that in your past, or have you worked towards kind of correcting some sort of speech issue?
I actually spent a number of years in my youth in speech therapy for a bad stutter. And those years of therapy kind of lent me into learning how to be more in control of my voice, be aware of it, and finding ways to synchronize both my speed of thought and my speed of speech. And so looking back on that, I'm very thankful for it, because that's what kind of keyed me into being so in tune with my vocal cords, and eventually when I got into theater, what led me to this path here. So very much so. And having been there, and still occasionally stutter kicks in, or little things, I start thinking really intensely, or I get really nervous or anxious, I'll still catch myself. So it's still a progress.
James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, I mean, he had a lisp that he overcame. But all of us, whether you have a vocal challenge that's specific, or you're just learning, you start out not very good, and then as you work it and you study it or you get experience, you get better with vocal control. So if you feel you have some kind of obstacle like that, don't let that be in your way, because all actors, all performers overcome some sort of personal or physical or psychological obstacles to become better and to become weaponized as an artist.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And those things that are in front of you that, I mean, for me, it was anxiety. When I first started, I couldn't carry long sentences, and I really had to get a grip on my breathing, and that came from my singing training, really helped that. But for me, I've found all my obstacles are my amazing trainers, and I'm grateful for every one of them, because they forge us into the steel of who we are. You know, it's...
Another thing, too, you get caught up in the performance. If you do have an impediment or affliction, something like that, you can actually get distracted by the acting. And then you lose yourself in that, and oh my God, and you do perfectly. You're like, what? I did it great. How'd that happen? Because you were focused on performing. It's pretty neat how that can affect it.
Awesome. Great question. Thank you.
Thank you.
We go-
Matt and just Dee, big fans. Thank you.
Thank you. All right here. Next.
Hi, my name's Kevin. I'm from San Francisco, and I've always wanted to ask anybody in Overwatch if you guys ever go on like Twitter or Facebook and see that some of your characters might be underpowered, overpowered. Are you guys ever like, man, I'm not overpowered, shut up?
I just think, learn to play.
I love it. All right. Thank you so much. I think we've got time for one more question, guys. I'm so sorry. We'll go over here.
Hi, my name is Zach, and my question for you guys, for each of you, is what has been the best part of working with Andrea as a director?
It was magical.
Everything?
It was magical. I remember the first time the directing was unlike anything I've ever experienced before in Swedish dubs, where I feel like most of the directing was like just completely different. But with Andrea, she really, really helped to just make you want to say it the way she wanted it said. Like it wasn't. She didn't put the words in your mouth or the tone there. She didn't say, oh, just do it like this, or say the line before you, which I have been through before. She just really, really worked around it and like pushed you onto the path, so you did so it came truly from within. And I haven't said this to you, but it was magic. It was amazing.
She strikes this unbelievable balance that is so brilliant and such oxygen as an actor. She's got that quality where she's so connected to the material and so intelligent. I'm talking about you like you're not here. That it's intimidating and it's inspiring at the same time. But she's such a caring human being, you know you're completely safe. And she rides the perfect balance between knowing exactly what she wants and being completely open to what you have to bring to the party. It's the most, and she's got the timing. She knows exactly when to move back and let you just fly. It's so perfectly tuned.
Yeah, it's an interesting balance of the fact that you do know what you want, and that's very important in a director. They know what they want. But part of what she wants is the input from us. At least that's what I got, and what we bring to the table, and our creativity and imagination going into the character. So it's a great blend of those two things, and it was a complete pleasure.
Am I dying today or something? Nobody's told me. Like, what's happening?
Only on the inside.
We could go
I'm dying
on.
on the inside.
We could
Thank
go
you
on.
so much. But as we all know, Michael and I can do all we can, but these are the guys that bring the true magic. Without them, we are nothing. So let's give a big round of applause for our amazing voices of Overwatch. We love you guys. We'll see you next year.